Mark Eric. Your name
Don
is
Matthews.
Don Matthews?
Yeah.
They said it didn't happen, even when the footage showed it. They said you misunderstood, even when you quoted them word for word, for word. They said you were unstable, even when the system was falling apart. This isn't confusion, it's strategy. Gaslighting, the government's favorite tool. But every time they lie, another camera rolls. Every time they deny, another file uploads. Truth is the new rebellion, and we're filming it in real time. This is the gaslight anthem. It's the gaslight anthem. They said it didn't happen, even when the footage showed it. They said you misunderstood, even when you quoted them word for word, word for word, for word. They said you were unstable, even when the system was falling apart. This isn't confusion, it's strategy. Gaslighting, the government's favorite tool. But every time they lie, another camera rolls. Every time they deny, another file uploads. Truth is the new rebellion, and we're filming it in real time. This is the gaslight anthem. Is the gaslight anthem. Is the gaslight anthem. Is the gaslight anthem. Gaslighting, the government's favorite tool. But every time they lie, another camera rolls. Every time they deny, another file uploads. Truth is the new rebellion, and we're filming it in real time. This is the gaslight anthem. It's the gaslight anthem. This is the gaslight anthem. It's the gaslight anthem.
What's going on, everybody? I'm not sure if you can, if I got any kind of latency delay. I am on Wi-Fi that is somewhat a little bit sketchy. If you can hear me, go ahead and give me drop something in the comments. Give me a 5x5 if there's no delay. I'm trying to get this pulled up here on my phone. I can hear it. Let's see. Hey, drop something in the comments if you've got me. Let's see. You got me. Yeah, this is the quality seems to be pretty fucking horrible. Okay. Welcome. No delay. Good. All right. Cool. So for those on here, I've done a lot of traveling over the last couple of weeks. Let's see. What's up there, Daisy May? Claire, good to see you. Secretariat, good to see you. Satoshi James, good to see you. Yeah, the picture is not the best. So I apologize about that. At least it's not hanging up on the at least it's flowing smoothly. It's just not the best quality. So the next time that I come live on here, I'm going to have to make sure I got some better internet. In fact, I might be able to. Give me 1 second. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and throw something on here. Those that have been following along know that I went up to New Jersey, went up to Connecticut, saw Leroy Truth, saw Long Island Audit. We all spoke out in regards to the injustice going on up in Groton, Connecticut. And that's really what it is. It's rotten Connecticut. Yeah, it's not looking like I'm going to get any better service on my phone. So we're going to have to go with this. It looks like I have one other option real quickly I can check. Hey, and if anybody wants to come up here on stage with me, I will throw in the StreamYard's link in the comments. There it is. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm not going to get any better service on my cell phone. So we're going to have to go with this. So Long Island Audit beat me to it. He put up the video about all the auditors speaking out. I was actually going to do that today. And so, yeah, I want to, if you hadn't seen what Long Island Audit put up, I want to throw this up there. This is all the auditors that came down that converged on Connecticut to speak out about the nasty, wretched, vile animal Sergeant Brian Fahey, who is now retired from the Connecticut State Troopers, full benefits, of course. But here's what the auditors had to say about everything.
The items of tonight's scheduled town business. First, Sergeant Brian Fahey is not
Hold on a second.
and never
There we go.
right.
All right. So that's not going to work, apparently. Apparently the service is that bad. Sorry. There's got to be something better here than this. That's ridiculous. Mm. All right. I'm going to connect over to my hotspot real quickly and see if this is a little bit better. Stand by for me for a second. All right, it may quickly disconnect me, but I'll be.
District, but what happened next? Your police department arrived, and instead of arresting the aggressor, the person who committed felonies, they arrested me and my cameraman.
Hey, y'all have a better signal now. Better now, or
criminal
is it worse
trespass,
now?
and breach of the peace.
Drop me something in
My
the
bond,
comments.
which was set by your police department, was originally set at $10,000, but on body camera, they told me they were receiving calls from high up. Was it you? Was it you? Who were the calls from high up? Was it the police chief
Okay, for
who
now,
worked for the
okay.
Connecticut State Police for 22
All right,
years?
hopefully this
They
will be
received
better. I'm gonna
calls.
try this again and see if we
I
can.
have a comment I would like to make before we begin citizens' comments. I'd like to clarify certain facts to facilitate the timely consideration and order of this meeting and the town council's agenda items of tonight's scheduled town business. First, Sergeant Brian Fahey is not and never has been employed by the town of Groton. He is a sergeant with the Connecticut State Police. Similarly, any officers or attorneys assigned to the New London Superior Court are state of Connecticut employees who work with the Connecticut Judicial Branch and not for the town of Groton or its police department. The town of Groton, including the town council, town manager, police chief, or any other town employee, does not have jurisdiction or authority to make decisions regarding additional criminal charges related to the events of July 11th. At this time, this remains an active investigation, and any decisions on criminal charges as a result of that incident rest solely with the state prosecutor's office. We will now take citizens' comments. First up is Sean Paul Reyes. It is now 6:35. We are beginning public comment.
So you guys have no authority over Sergeant Brian Fahey, former Sergeant Brian Fahey, but you have plenty of authority. Your police department has plenty of authority to level baseless, felonious charges against myself and my cameraman. That's good to it's good to know. My name is Sean Paul Reyes. I'm an independent journalist and the founder of Long Island Audit. I'm most importantly a citizen who cares deeply about accountability and public trust in law enforcement. On July 11, 2025, something happened here that should alarm every single person who believes in justice. A Connecticut State Police Sergeant, Brian Fahey, brandished a firearm, physically assaulted me, and even spat in my face while I was engaged in a constitutionally protected activity. Asking questions about suspected overtime fraud, a matter of clear public concern. Let me be very clear, I was 150 feet away from his door on my way out when this armed lunatic stormed out of his house with a gun in one hand, a phone in the other, and rage in his voice. He got in my face, bumped into me, threatened me, pointed his weapon near me, and then spit directly in my face and mouth, all while falsely claiming to 911 that I threatened to kill him, which is a crime for anybody else. This wasn't law enforcement, this was lawless under the color of authority. What happened next? The Groton Police Department, I like how, Mayor, you like to try and single yourself out. You know, we're not in charge of the Connecticut State Police or New London Judicial District, but what happened next? Your police department arrived, and instead of arresting the aggressor, the person who committed felonies, they arrested me and my cameraman on baseless charges of felony voyeurism, criminal trespass, and breach of the peace. My bond, which was set by your police department, was originally set at $10,000. But on body camera, they told me they were receiving calls from high up. Was it you? Was it you? Who were the calls from high up? Was it the police chief who worked for the Connecticut State Police for 22 years? They received calls from high up, and they said, whoa, now your bond is $75,000. $75,000.
Thank you. Your time has expired. Mr. Reyes, you did not
Accountability
announce
isn't
your
optional,
address.
transparency isn't optional,
Thank
and
you.
it is your public duty as
Your time
public
is
servants
out of order.
to do the right thing,
You're out
because the
of
people
order.
of Groton, the people of Connecticut, and the people of this
Thank you.
country
Your time has
deserve
expired.
better. You're cowards for limiting
You
this
didn't
movement.
list your address. Mr. Reyes, you did not list your address.
Wow.
Mr. Reyes, you did not list your
What's your
address.
address?
Mr. Burt, is the address required to be able to speak?
No.
Thank you. Up next is
Tyrant.
Leroy Tree.
What's your address?
Tyrant.
If we do not have order.
And if you notice right there, the mayor's only concern, this is how corrupt this woman is. She is a complete piece of shit. Her only concern is, Sean Paul Reyes, you didn't put your address down. What that is right there is gaslighting to the fullest, because what she was wanting to do, what she was trying to force right there, is for him to disclose his address to the world. This was not for her. This was not for this world. Okay? Knowing that all these cameras were going, let's hear what happens right here.
Within the chamber, I do have the authority to clear the chamber.
That's what she wants.
Thank you.
Tired.
Leroy Truth.
I'm disgusted by you, Mayor Franco.
Your name?
I am Leroy Truth of Leroy Truth Investigations on YouTube. Please subscribe to me now. Good evening, everyone. Let me just say, I get it. I totally understand why Connecticut State Trooper Sergeant Brian Fahey would spit directly into the mouth of peaceful journalist Sean of Long Island Audit. Equal audacity to walk, not run. You can look up, Mayor Franco, give a little respect here. Sean had the audacity to walk, not run, not teleport, not evaporate at 186,000 miles per second off Fahey's property after being told to leave. I mean, come on, Sean. What were you thinking? Everyone knows when a Connecticut State Trooper with an ego the size of his government pension says, "Get off my lawn," you're supposed to dematerialize like you're in a Marvel movie. And the way Sean dared to stand there with a camera, not a gun, not a grenade, but a Canon or a Sony or an iPhone, or whatever those damn peaceful auditors use these days, he might as well have launched a nuke, right? The horror, the tragedy, the nerve. But seriously, let's flip the script, because that's what this moment demands. Sergeant Brian Fahey is not a hero. He is not a protector. He is a government-issued goon with a badge and a bubbling psychological breakdown. He didn't have to come out of his house. He wasn't under threat. He wasn't provoked. He chose to close the distance. And you try to get away from responsibility. The reason that this shite show happened, number one, Brian Fahey spitting into the mouth of Sean Long Island Audit. Number two, your police, the Groton police, arresting, mind-blowingly arresting an innocent journalist and an innocent cameraman. Who gave that order, Mayor Franco? Who gave that order? That's why we're here. Don't blame this man. He's a journalist. He's been doing what journalists have done for generations, trying to keep the truth, and you can't handle the truth. What do you have to say? You disgust me. You disgust me. Speak up.
Vinny is up next.
What you tried to do with the time, I'm not
I'm
giving
sorry,
you my
your
name. You don't deserve a name. You don't deserve an address. Thank you. All right. What you did with the time, which you've never done before, limiting this public speaking time to 2 minutes, is terrible. I commend you for bringing that point up. A rule that's never been used. This is all to silence we the people. Us. We want a voice, but now you've limited our voice. You've limited the speaking time just to 30 minutes. 30. You see how many people are here? You don't want to hear us. That's why you limited the time. Disgusting. All right, so I'm here today because of what happened to Sean Paul Reyes in your town. He was arrested for peacefully filming and asking questions, something protected by the First Amendment. At the same time, a police officer allegedly spit on him, pulled a gun, and was not charged. That's not fair. That's a double standard. Groton now has a choice. Will you stand up for fairness? I don't think you will. I definitely don't think you will. You just want to hide it under the fucking rug. Truth and the rights of the people. Or will you protect the bad behavior by staying silent? I bet you will. I bet you will. Now, I ask you to take this seriously, look into what happened, be open and public, and make sure this doesn't happen again. I would like the other council members to stand up and speak up, because this mayor clearly won't. Please, this is crazy.
Next is Press.
Good evening. To my fellow freedom enforcers who showed up tonight in the name of accountability, and to those men and women in uniform still confused about who the criminal was in Long Island Order video. Spoiler alert, it wasn't the guys with the camera. My name is Full Court Press, and tonight I got a humble request. Arrest me. I see how you operate, and I don't want to miss my turn. In Groton, you don't need to break the law to be arrested. You just need to document someone else breaking it. Let's walk through it, slowly, for those still taking notes in the down. A journalist, Long Island Audit, knocks on a public official's door, leaves when asked, calm and respectful. Then, bursts out of the house, little Brian Fahey, off-duty, armed, enraged, follows the man toward the street, spits in his face, gun on his hip, badge in his mouth, ego on full auto. What does Groton PD do? Do they arrest the armed man who just committed assault? The one shouting, I'm a goddamn Connecticut state trooper like it's a spell against accountability? Nope. You arrest the guy asking questions. And for extra laughs, you arrest the cameraman too. Because apparently in Groton, the real threat isn't the guy with the gun, it's the guy with the tripod. If irony were a crime, you'd be doing life without parole. Let's talk law. Connecticut General State Statute 53861. Spitting is assault. Physical injury includes pain or impairment of condition.
Hey, sorry about that, y'all. I got disconnected for a second. I'm not sure what happened with the internet. So let me get this pulled back up. This shit is lousy. There we go.
I would like to make before we begin citizens' comment.
You can look up. I'm here.
In Groton, you don't need to break 53861. Spitting is assault.
There we go. Just go back to
Physical injury
full
includes
press.
pain or impairment of condition. Saliva counts. That's not just gross, that's criminal, and the only people denying it are the ones protecting little Brian Fahey. What he did wasn't disgusting, it was a crime committed in public, on camera, under color of authority. And your response? Cowardice, corruption, collusion. So here I am, clean record, voice steady, camera ready, and I dare you to make your next mistake. So go ahead, arrest me. Throw me in a cruiser, I'll live stream it, narrate it in real time, and by the time the ink dries on your report, half the country will know your names, and none of them will spell hero.
Thank you.
Who's up next?
John Felix.
Hi, John Felix, Transparency and Accountability Coalition. You can try to say you don't have jurisdiction. You do have jurisdiction over the Groton PD. They did make a false arrest against Sean Paul. He's not the criminal. He's the victim of a Connecticut state trooper. And you're saying you're not. PD did protect him. And you're trying to deflect the blame on other people. You had jurisdiction over the people who made the false arrest, and your constituents are going to have to pay for it. Yep. You understand that, right? You don't just get to say, oh, it's not me. Oh, it's not me. It is you.
What if they did it to your child? What would you do then?
Yes.
Would you have your hope? What the fuck is wrong with you? You have jurisdiction over the Ground PD. The Ground PD fucking did this. And now they're maliciously prosecuting him, and your fucking constituents are gonna have to fucking pay for it. You feel good about yourself? You're gonna take some responsibility or not? If you fucking vote for this dumbass lady ever again, you get what you fucking deserve, stupid ass.
Is this Groton, Connecticut, or is this Groton, Connecticut? Because right now what I'm seeing is a whole bunch of Grotons. Good evening, council members, mayor, and fellow Americans. I'm not here tonight to cause a scene. I'm here because the line has been crossed, and that line was spit on, stomped on, and violated by a disgraced and now retired Connecticut State Trooper, Sergeant Fahey. Last month, Sean Paul Reyes of Long Island Audit, a journalist, a First Amendment auditor, a man holding a camera by the back alley under the Constitution.
Amen.
And what happened next? Nothing. No arrest, no suspension, no accountability. Except for this man. He was arrested. His cameraman was arrested. Connecticut sent a clear message. The same message we've seen with Mississippi, with me. The same message out of New Jersey with Leroy Truth. That journalism is a threat. That transparency must be punished. That cops can commit crimes on camera and walk away clean. Vile animal. Not in the back alley, not during a riot. But in broad daylight, as he was engaged in his duties as a journalist and exercising the rights guaranteed under the Constitution.
Amen.
And what happened next? Nothing. No arrest, no suspension, no accountability. Except for this man. He was arrested. His cameraman was arrested. Connecticut sent a clear message. The same message we've seen with Mississippi, with me. The same message out of New Jersey with Leroy Truth. That journalism is a threat. That transparency must be punished. That cops can commit crimes on camera and walk away clean. But this is not how it's supposed to be. We have three branches of government for a reason. When the courts won't act, when the legislature stays silent, the executive branch, this town, this city council, this mayor, you have the power to say enough is enough. You don't work for the state police. You don't answer to bad cops. You answer to the people. And the people are watching. The nation is watching. And the world is watching to see if Broughton has a spine. So I ask you tonight to pass a resolution to condemn this act of violence. Defend the First Amendment.
Thank you.
Because if we don't stand up for our rights,
You're out
we'll
of
lose
order.
them. And once they're
We're
gone,
gonna take a
they
recess
don't come
now.
back
Can we stop?
without a fight.
We're
Thank
going to
you.
take a recess. If this continues, if people continue to go over their time, which is fair to all
not
who
fair
would
to
like to
anyone.
speak,
No, you.
recess the meeting until, and then come back. Up next, it says the Long Island audit.
I have no time.
No, you can only speak once.
Where's that saying in the rules?
Up next
Is
is
that in
James
Rule
D.
5B?
Up next is
Is that in
James
your
D.
rules?
I'll take the Long Island audit.
James D.
You're looking at it?
There you are.
I'll take the Long Island audit.
You're Long Island on it too. Yes.
Roll on
I
that.
had no intention to come up here and speak, but I wanted to show support for Sean. What I saw was despicable. I'm gonna look at the police officer in here, because that's what I care about. Your department arrested this man? You should be ashamed of yourself. Your whole department should be ashamed of yourself. Okay? You guys are doing the wrong thing to the wrong people. Crime was committed, and you covered it up because the guy's a state trooper? What would your mom think? What would your parents think? Your kids? Do they know what happened? Did you go home and say, hey, our department arrested this man? Think about the future, the children, everyone. This is the example you and your department are setting. Mayor, you're in this as well. This is your department. You oversee them. Get them in fucking order. I mean, really, enough's enough. Long Island audit.
Hello. In a society, justice must stand as an impartial pillar that upholds fairness, equity, and the rule of law. When justice is divided into tiers, where some individuals receive preferential treatment based on wealth, status, or power, it undermines the very essence of what it means to be a free society. A tiered justice system not only breeds inequality, it also fosters resentment and distrust. As Thomas Jefferson once warned, laws and institutions must go hand in hand with progress of the human mind. For this progress to be genuine, it requires a justice system that is blind to power and privilege. When justice becomes a tool for the elite, those who are disadvantaged feel the system is rigged against them, diminishes the trust necessary for a functioning free society. Alexander Hamilton, one of our nation's most influential founders, also cautioned that the first duty of a society is justice. But when justice is doled out unevenly, when some individuals face harsher sentences than others for the same crime or are completely not held accountable for their crime, it erodes the societal contracts. Citizens begin to question whether the laws are truly just, which most are not, or whether they exist simply to protect the powerful. Our Constitution was written by James Madison, was founded on the, as written by James Madison, was founded on the idea that all men are created equal, all of us citizens are created equal, and that equality before the law should be non-negotiable. If we allow any form of hierarchy in our justice system, we risk creating a society where the law becomes a tool of oppression rather than a shield of freedom. And we're seeing that every day. We saw it with Long Island audit. We see it all over the country every day, where government officials and police officers are not held accountable for their bad actions. And it falls back, what they said earlier today or this evening, that falls back on the people of this town. You're going to get sued, and you're going to have to pay, and they're going to have to pay.
Thank you. Your time has expired.
Council, I've been a Groton resident for almost 5 years, formerly of Norwich. I actually had the distinction of having Chief Fazzaro be my neighbor for 3 doors down, so I know him very well for the first 10 years of my life. So much so that the Chief of Norwich, his father, attended both of my family's funerals. What I saw in July, what the police department did to this man, falsely arresting him, really concerned me. This is the first time I ever addressed a public setting like this, and I'm afraid that he's going to sue the town, and the taxpayers are going to have to bear the burden of this. So I'm just wondering what the town's going to do about this.
Good point.
Excellent question. Excellent question. That's how change happens.
In 2 minutes, that's what they're gonna do.
Okay, there we go. So that was that. And once again, I want to apologize about my internet service. Actually, I've got about 30 more minutes before I've got to leave this place. I figured I would take full advantage of the air conditioning and what I hope to be fast internet. I actually rented a room here at the library, a private room. But yeah, so I was actually going to show off some other videos. I don't think I really have the time for this to actually go over those other videos right now. But I want to talk about another subject with you. And this is something that definitely needs awareness brought to it. Okay. Got a friend of mine on Facebook that reached out to me and wanted to see if I would look into this story involving her son. And let me pull this up right here. Saved. Her name is Cynthia Simmons. Okay. Lives down in Saucier, Mississippi. The state of Mississippi has got some real fucked up shit going on. The state of Mississippi is the last state in the country that needs to involve itself with mental health issues, with mental health crises. You have what happened with me back in 2022, where they weaponized the system whenever I was simply doing what a journalist does and trying to get to the bottom of why these court records were changed in Lafayette County Circuit Court. Instead of addressing the issue, which was clear as day, and I had it on camera, they decided to gaslight me and actually have me committed to a state hospital to try to paint me out to be somebody that was delusional, which did not work. Okay. But I lost all this time because of it was a cover up. Let's see. What's up there, Gloria Ad? Lost all this time because of a cover up. Second time it happened 2 months later. After I had gotten out after that first time, I did a formal complaint in to Communicator as well as the judge that rubber stamped the order, pointing out how they had violated not only state law, but they had violated federal law, grotesquely violated it. Told them that they needed to make changes and offer those changes to me in writing within the next, I think it was week or 10 days. I was ready to file suit. I knew I was going to file suit on it, had to file suit on it, because I mean, this was 2 commitments used as weapons by the state within 2 months. Started hearing about this used more and more. And Cynthia's story really touched my heart when I got to doing some digging into it and researching what all had happened. Cynthia's son, Jason, was, I guess you could say, having a mental health crisis. And or so the state of Mississippi said. They did the same process as what they did with me. They went and had an affidavit for commitment done up. And instead of it being served, or instead of him being picked up by an officer, maybe two at the most, they decided to send a SWAT team out to the family's house. When Cynthia and her husband saw the SWAT team there in full gear, even though her son had not threatened anybody, was not a violent person, they told the officers, "Whoa, we've got this. It's all under control. Y'all are not needed. We do not need a SWAT team out here." They told her and her husband that if you or your husband come down to the barn, you're going to be arrested. What ensued next was close to a 4-hour standoff. Why it was a 4-hour standoff, I don't know. I'm hoping here in the next week to actually interview Miss Simmons and her husband about everything. You know, sorry about that. I had to actually get on my cell phone because my laptop just all of a sudden randomly just reset. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Solo layout. Let me try to finish this up right here on the cell phone instead of getting back on the laptop. Let's see. Okay, let's do it like that. Hopefully y'all can see me and hear me. As I said, so the SWAT team went down to the barn where the son was. Close to a 4-hour standoff. The SWAT team throws a flashbang, a flash grenade. Jason comes to the door. Well, you could. It's said that he came to the door, but what happened next was the SWAT team opened fire on him right in front of his mother and his father. They murdered this kid in cold blood. And not only that, two other things happened that literally it makes my damn blood boil so bad. I want to go down to Saucier, Mississippi, real bad. Officer looked over at Miss Simmons and said, when she started screaming, as any parent would do, because her child was just gunned down by the police. When she started screaming, the officer looked at her and told her to shut the fuck up, or she was going to get placed in cuffs. Then the autopsy report comes back. And Jason I need to actually get, I saw it. I saw the actual illustration. There was approximately 8 bullet holes in Jason's back and none in his chest. How in the hell? Somebody please make this make sense. 8 bullet holes in his back and none in his chest. So he was retreating. He was not coming at them. He was not, he obviously, you can't be an aggressor whenever you're turned and running away, or whatever the case was. Bullets just don't wind up in somebody's back. As I said, this was cold-blooded murder. And it makes my blood boil, because I looked into the story and I realized how easily I could have been Jason. Knowing how much Lafayette County, Mississippi hates me, how that could have easily been, that easily could have been me. The second time that they did this to me, 2 months after the first time, I refused to comply. I didn't put up a physical fight, but I wasn't, they were going to have to, actually physically restrain me. I wasn't going. But this could have been the same exact situation. This could have been, I mean, and then I hear about another story, a new story, where somebody that was investigating into Mississippi Department of Public Safety, Sean Tindell. As you know, y'all remember the incident where I was assaulted outside of the governor's mansion. And I have reached out several times to Sean Tindell. The Department of Public Safety in Mississippi is 100% corrupt. And I'm not sure exactly what this guy was digging into. I need to actually get more information on this. This was just given to me the other day. It was explained to me on the phone. Somebody reached out, a friend of mine online reached out and said they wanted to make sure that I was all right, because that's the same type of situation happened. This guy that was investigating into the Department of Public Safety Commissioner, Sean Tindell, they sought to commit him. The state of Mississippi is trying to cover things up using the commitment system, mental commitments. And they can't arrest somebody for a crime. They try to say somebody's crazy. They try to say that they're delusional, that they're paranoid. And that leads to state-sanctioned murder. Okay? It's already a state-sanctioned kidnapping and a state-sanctioned human trafficking. But now they're actually coming out with the state-sanctioned murder using this. And it's something that certainly deserves a lot of digging into. It deserves a lot of outrage, because this is something that's being exploited and abused. And I guarantee you, Mississippi is not the only one doing this. But I can just about guarantee you that Mississippi and their Hicktown political pro-law enforcement system, that they're just about the worst in the country when it comes to that. And it's something that I'm going to open up an entire segment into this, because it's something that's personally affected me, and it's something that's personally bothering the hell out of me right now. They claim that the most recent case
the guy that was investigating Sean Tyndall, they claim that he committed suicide when they were trying to take him into custody to have a mental evaluation done. I don't think that for 1 second. Not for 1 second. Let me do this. Let me see if I can get back onto StreamYards real quickly on my laptop. Enter studio. So for the next 15 minutes, let's see, go. There we go. For the next 15 minutes, there's two that I really want to do. You know what? I'm going to cover the Department of Justice complicity. I'm going to cover that later. I'm not going to cover that right now. I just don't have enough time to do it. So I want to show you what happened in Jersey City. I really don't have enough time for this, but it's I can get enough of it out. This happened in Jersey City. Oh shit. Hold on a second.
Good afternoon. The time is now 4:45, and Columbia Pike Library will be closing in 15 minutes. Please gather your items and head to the front desk or self-checkout station. If you're having trouble finding what you're looking for, staff members can assist you.
So I just got back on my because the internet here is horrible.
I can help you, sir.
Hello. I'd like to go in.
How can I help you?
I would like to go in.
What type of business you need?
This is City Hall, right?
That is correct.
So
Alright.
my business here in City Hall has nothing to do with you. You're not the guardian of my rights.
Hey, how you doing, sir? You have an appointment? No. You gotta have an appointment, sir.
You don't have to have an appointment to come into City Hall. That's outrageous. Who's your supervisor? Well, okay. Y'all have no right to block access to City Hall. That's the most outrageous thing I've ever heard. To actually ask everybody what they want before they come in. Do y'all hear this? Here, I'm going to stop that. It's not working very well. I'm going to bring my friend East Carbon. What's going on there? East Carbon.
Oh, there he is. We the People News.
What's up, fella?
How are you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Good to
What's
see
going
you.
on with you?
Back in Mississippi,
Man,
are you?
doing a lot of traveling. Doing a lot of traveling. How's things going with you?
Things are going real good, buddy. You guys made a big deal up there. I'm proud of you guys.
No, no, I'm actually out in the Washington, D.C. area.
Really? You got a
Yeah,
hot tip up there now?
hey, by the way, hon, I've got this.
Oh, man. This thing dropped it.
Do what?
Put this inside.
Can you hear me?
I have my radio out here and it keeps going. You're up in the DC? Is that
So
what you said?
what's the latest out in Utah, man? What's the latest out in Utah?
Southern Utah is, well, let me tell you, there are a bunch of criminals here in Utah, Matt. You're probably well aware of that. And
Yeah, apparently. Yes, hold on. Let me pause this or let me stop you right there real quickly while I get rid of this freaking troll, and I'm going to address what she said. But now I'm going to go ahead and turn off show comments on stage, just because she reminded me that there are just a bunch of pieces of shit out there like Patricia Fodder, that is now banned and her comments deleted. Yes, I am a convicted felon, only because I pled out to something because I was completely denied due process all the way around. So yeah, thank you, Doctor of the Obvious. You're a troll. Get the fuck off my screen, Patricia. Yeah, you try being stuck in jail on a no bond hold on a completely just bogus charge, and you got a child in the hospital fighting for their life, three other children at the house, and then you got your wife that gets fired from her job conveniently 2 weeks after your court appointed attorney goes to work for the husband of the Oxford mayor, who was the alleged victim. All right. Tell me that shit's not corrupt. That was a
Matt,
manufactured crisis right there for my wife to lose her job, for her to get fired, knowing that there were four kids, one in the hospital fighting for his life, and then here I am stuck in jail on a no bond hold. There's absolutely no way that I can get out of jail to support my family. I pled out so that I could get out and I could support my family. Now, I mean, I would love to hear somebody, hear some comments on this. I mean, what is the responsible thing to do in that situation? I don't think anybody's written a book on it, although I am writing, maybe that's what American injustice is right there. But I mean, let's talk about that. What is the responsible thing in that particular situation when the only other caregiver for the children just lost her job because of this madness?
I mean, what are you
Yeah,
supposed to do in this moment? And when trolls want to talk about what somebody has done in their past, when you have now risen from the phoenix, sir, that's where you're at. You are flying as high as you need to be.
It's absolutely disgusting. I've never seen so much just flat evil in this country as what I'm seeing right now, about how people can laugh about somebody's rights, just like literally their life getting completely devastated, and in the same breath freaking say, get a job, in the same breath say, start advertising to people he's a convicted felon, but they don't want to talk about the facts, the truth, what all actually happened. Okay. I've just never seen so much absolute pure disgust, and just, I mean,
That's why the things that we say, Matt, back the blue until it happens to you, all these things will come full force in their life at some point, and they will they will remember these terms like you and I have.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's here's the thing, okay? Just like for these public officials right now that are doing nothing, the Department of Justice, history is not going to look back kindly on their inaction and their complicity. It's not going to look back kindly on their silence and their refusing to act. But what it will do, while it may not be, while my vocalness on the matter may not be gaining the traction like I would like it to gain right now, in the future, history will look kindly on the fact that I never shut up. I refused to shut up and stand down.
Thank you, sir.
But Patricia, what what do if she's still watching, what do you think that that history is going to reflect on you for just your vile actions?
But Matt, their character attacks, you're this, you're that, YouTube this, you're that. This is what they live on. That's it. That's the only their go-to. And down the line, it won't matter because the exposure is what matters. The exposure, they will realize that we were all correct and the trolling that they've done never mattered. Never mattered.
And they want a response like this. That's what they go for. Is they really want a response, and the best thing you can do is just ignore them and not give them a response. But in my situation, I like to actually take what they say and use it as a platform, just like we're doing right now. Let's have a discussion about it.
I love it.
I would love I would love to actually have Patricia Fodder come up here on StreamYards and actually face me down on video and actually have a debate. Let's request
let's that.
See, yeah,
Let's request that.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have the time to do that right now. So I'll say whenever I leave here, I'm going to go back live on StreamYards and do another one.
That would be interesting, brother.
But yeah, the library's closing right now, so I've got to gather my stuff up.
Nope, but I haven't talked to you for a while. I just haven't seen you in a few months, and I just wanted to tell you how good you're doing, and my channel's gaining big steam too, and so we'll see you next time. You have my number, sir.
Everybody, those on here, make sure you go and subscribe to East Carbon Exposed. He's a friend of mine from Utah. Hey, so feel free to jump back on here. I'm gonna probably come back on here in an hour or so with another stream.
You got it, buddy.
And jump back on. Let's continue the conversation. And in fact, I want to invite several others, like anybody else that wants to get on here and have a discussion. Even if you're a troll, if you want to call me a piece of shit and talk, just say everything you want to say. Just feel free to do it. I'm coming.
Let's do it. Hey, Matt, have a good night. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right,
send me
good.
the link and I'll jump on with you. You got it.
Sounds good, man.
Bye, guys.
Hey, y'all take care.
Bye, guys. East Carbon Exposed. See ya.
Bye.